Can we talk about why 2024 has been having so many bad anime adaptations? And I'm specifically talking about the animation quality. And in this video, guys, it's gonna be something different where I'm just gonna be basically ranting about this topic. Don't know why, randomly came up to me on a random Tuesday afternoon. But don't get me wrong, 2024 has been a great year for anime. Like a great year. We had Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. We had Solo Leveling. We had Frieren. Fuck, I butchered the hell out of that. The Apothecary Diaries, Spy Family, Kaiju number 8, Demon Slayer, and Windbreaker, and Oshinoko. Also did want to mention, click the link in the description below so you can see my top 5 official list of summer 2024 anime. But even with all of these stellar anime adaptations, we have had so many bad ones as well in 2024. Some with god-awful animations. Like, it is horrendous how some of these even got greenlighted. And I'm not even exaggerating, guys. I mean, as of this post, you probably know during this recent season that there's already a couple animes that have been having terrible adaptations regarding the animation. Some you would actually be surprised on them getting that kind of a bad rap. Some you would be very surprised on why they have that bad of an animation or why their budget is so low. And it's so bad that some of these animes that I have dropped in the past and some of them that's airing right now that I'm considering dropping if it's continuously going to be that bad. And it kind of sucks nowadays because we all know the reason for bad animation is either most likely the directing of it or because of the budget. The budget is usually 95% of the time, and it's kind of surprising that some of these animes have not been having the budget. But I guess now I have realized that Japan and the US are totally different. Obviously they have in control as all the studios are in Japan, so whatever Japanese people like, that's what's gonna get the budget. And in this video I'm gonna be talking about specific animes that got screwed over here in 2024. Obviously I gotta show you guys some examples because I can't just yap and not have any examples to back me up. But before I go into the animes, make sure you like and subscribe, and please hit the bell notifications. I want you guys to be notified. And then, yeah, you know, like and subscribe as well. So the first show I'm going to be talking about, this one really saddens me that it's even on this list. It's Tower of God. Not season 1, but season 2. And funny enough, it actually just finished airing in the summer 2024 season. I did add it to my honorable mentions if you watched that video I just mentioned, but I mainly added it because of its adaptation regarding the story of Tower of God. Because if we're comparing it to the actual story, it's really good. But what's the biggest downside for the second season of Tower of God is the animation. If you guys haven't watched Tower of God, if you think I'm just tripping, watch it, okay? Before you finish this video, go watch it. It's horrendous. And it's so bad, I actually dropped Tower of God midway. So I'm not fully caught up in the manhwa. I think I remember started reading it after season 1 because I thought it was so good in season 1 that I actually read more of it. But I dropped halfway through this season just because of how bad the animation is. Like, it is so bad, it actually hurts your eyes watching it. And I only made it to the halfway point just because I am a fan of Tower of God. Like, that's the only reason why. And if you guys have watched it, you'll know that the first 2 episodes of Tower of God was actually really good. Of season 2 was really good. Like, the animation was solid, and I don't know what happened. It's like they used all the budget they had on the first 2 episodes just so they could draw back the viewers, draw back the Tower of God fans, and just completely shit the bed the rest of the series. And it's such a bummer and it's such a fumble because this season is actually really decent. Action wise is not there and it's a little bit slow. I would say it's one of the slowest arcs in the series, but I mean, this is where we got introduced to one of my favorite characters in Tower of God, Mizuno. Like, Mizuno is so sick. I remember when I first got introduced to Mizuno in the manhwa, I legit watched so many character explain videos on this man because he was so cold. And so when episode, I think 6 or 7, one of those 2 popped up and I knew Mizuno was gonna come on, I was hyped. I was hyped up until I actually saw him. I actually watched the episode. I sat down and sat through 23 minutes of garbage. It was really depressing. And honestly, I shouldn't be as surprised because watching the previous like 3 episodes, the animation was bad, but I just, for some reason, I just had false hope that this episode was gonna be peak animation just because Mizuno was coming. But nope, it was garbage. And it just sucked because we all know Wano season 1 was really good. Very unique style that season 1 took, and that style should have been carried on. They should have carried that style for however many seasons they were thinking of adapting, Tower of God. And even when Tower of God season 1 came out, that unique style was actually hated on. You might see comments now saying a lot of people like the art style, but back then at first nobody liked it. Everyone was shitting on how different it looked. But I was actually one of the few that actually liked that style because it was different, and it still had fluid animation to it, and that's the most important part. And honestly, it's such a generational fumble that this random ass studio, I think it's a new studio as well, adapted season 2 and just changed the art style completely. I mean, look at some of these scenes. Look at this shit. This is so bad. Like, fan animation out there on TikTok is way better than this. And I get you might argue,
those fan animations, they got infinite amount of time on their hands, but these studios have deadlines they gotta meet.
and I get it, okay, but it's a professional studio, right? And if they weren't prepared for that, then why adapt season 2 that fast? I'd rather them take another like 2 to 3 years to make the animation perfect rather than seeing a shit adaptation. This just makes me not really excited for the second part of season 2, which is such a bummer because Tower of God was one of my favorite series. And some of you guys might argue, Hoon, if you are a true fan of Tower of God, how did you not finish the whole season, even with the bad animation? Let me explain this, guys, because seeing good animation with my bare eyes makes the experience 10 times better. And I feel like that's with any media. And also, I do work full time and I also do YouTube on the side. So I have little free time. And when I do, I want to spend it on watching things that have good quality. That's worth my time watching. And most of the time, watching the things I like to watch tends to have good animation, good choreo, good OST, you know, something that looks like the creators put time and effort into making that anime. Like right now, I'm enjoying watching Bleach and Dandadan, and I know those shows have put in so much effort, so I'm willing to spend my free time to watch those shows, because guys, a lot of these animes are like 30 minutes, okay? That's a lot of time. And sometimes I get off of work, I just want to shut off my brain and just watch some solid anime with great animation. Doesn't need to have the best storytelling. I mean, that's a bonus, right? But it has to encompass everything, okay? And Tower of God just did not have that, so it was so hard to watch. I was struggling after the 4th episode. It was so hard to get to. It felt like a chore watching Tower of God. Can't believe that was one of the series that just got screwed over. And the next anime that I'm going to be talking about is actually one that came out earlier in 2024. Yes, back in early February, I believe. And honestly, it's considered as one of the biggest fall-offs in anime history. And that show is Ninja Kamui. Guys, I thought this anime was gonna be great. I thought this was gonna be the next classic, like 10 to 15 years down the line. As I'm older, I could look at my son and be like, oh, you should watch Ninja Kamui. The animation was great. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be that old, but you know what I'm saying, all right? Something that you could like pass down to generations because it's not a complicated story. You know, it had great animation. So it's just something you could pass it along to your future generations. Because I mean, ninjas going at war with each other, yeah, that's a lit ass premise. Basic, but lit. And guys, Ninja Kamui hooked me and 99% of other viewers in with that first fight sequence on episode 1. I know it got you hooked, don't lie. And I know after that, you probably thought this was going to be one of the best original animes out. I thought this was going to be great, but as that meme says, they had us in the first half. Because the first half of the anime was great. The second half? Yeah, that shit took a fat ass nosedive, just like the stock market back in 1929. I mean, the first 6 episodes was so peak of Ninja Kamui. Like, I made a freaking video on it, glazing Ninja Kamui. Like, I was slurping all over that show. Click the link in the description to see that video. Honestly, I actually recommend watching that video because you can see how much glaze I gave that show, and now you can see how much unglaze I'm giving it. Yeah, the second half was atrocious. Like, once they introduced the mecha aspect of it, oh my gosh, like why would they do that? And for some reason, the second half of the anime, the animation just turned into shit. Like the amount of CGI that was incorporated in this show, that I don't even know why they incorporated that much CGI in this show. Like when the first half had like barely any CGI, or when it did have CGI, it was incorporated well in the choreography. But for some reason, we just had fights like this. I didn't ask for no mecha fights. Like I thought we were getting a ninja this show, hence Ninja Kamui. Bruh, if you were gonna make a fucking mecha show, call it Mecha Kamui. But just tell us what it's gonna be. Like, why introduce something totally different halfway through the season? Makes no sense to me. And it was so much promise, especially because the director of this show was actually the director of Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. I think season 2 or season 1. And it was his own original project that had so much hype behind it because obviously Jujutsu Kaisen is Jujutsu Kaisen. So many people thought this show was going to be the next big thing. And especially it was picked up by Netflix. So even Netflix thought that, but it was the biggest fall off. And you probably could watch all over YouTube. So many people talking about it. I am so late to the game, but it relates to this video because the animation quality in that was horrendous. Oh my gosh. It was so sad. Ninja Kamui. It could have been the rated R version of Naruto. And the last show I'm going to be talking about, well, I think I might just talk about 2 shows in this one specific segment because both of these shows are actually airing currently at the moment. Yes. Honestly, I feel like if you're watching this video, you guys probably already know what I'm talking about. I will give you 3 seconds. Comment down below the 2 animes that I'm going to be talking about, okay? I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, got it? I'm talking about Blue Lock Season 2 and Uzumaki. This is actually a tragedy in both of these animes. Some of you guys might argue,
It's only 2-3 episodes out. You don't know. It could get great later on.
maybe, but like Blue Lock, dude, that shit is just pictures. Legit PNG photos. And it's just moving. Like, I think I can do that on Adobe right now. I could probably legit make a little sequence of these guys on a soccer field. If I wanted to see pictures, I would just read the manga. The anime is literally just colored pictures, okay? It just sucks because Blue Lock is one of my favorite series. Obviously, my favorite is Kuroko no Basket, but Blue Lock is solid, guys, and it's such a disappointment that an anime that's so popular here in the States just didn't get much love. And a little side note, I know that an anime called Uma Musume Derby Race, I think, is popping off on TikTok right now because people are comparing this one scene of them just running, just straight up running, and the animation is so peak, and then comparing it to Blue Lock and how that has just been pure shit. It's actually so funny. But I think I did want to explain that it's a culture difference, guys, okay? If you're one of the people that's confused why Blue Lock doesn't have that great of a budget compared to this random derby anime, it's a culture difference, okay? Japan and America are not the same, so you really can't compare. Blue Lock is more popular, I think, in the States. Us Americans love Blue Lock. I mean, we love sports in general, so seeing an anime based on sports, we eat that shit up. So to us, obviously it's a little bit confusing, but you gotta realize these animation studios are from Japan, so they're gonna cater towards more Japanese people, okay? I'd be willing to suffer through more PNG episodes if U20 is gonna be absolute peak. And Uzumaki, this is gonna be quick, but what is episode 2, man? That is so atrocious. Junji Ito, you're telling me this can get a solid adaptation? Apparently they outsourced this episode to other studios. This was just episode 2 and they already had to outsource it. Like, why adapt that in the first place? Because I know Uzumaki is like one of the better stories too. Episode 1 was peak, actually, like the animation quality and like how they used the black and white instead of color. It was actually a great touch. But then episode 2 just fell off completely. Who knows? I mean, maybe Uzumaki actually could be in contention of the biggest fall off with Ninja Kamui. But if you guys agree, please comment down below. I actually do want to hear if there's any animes that I am missing because I feel like that there's been a lot more, especially in 2024. But please let me know what anime you guys were actually excited for but was let down by terrible animations. Follow my socials, follow my Twitch, join the Discord, please. I have no friends. Please join. I need friends. And I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.